right, it's showtime. Hi, welcome everyone to episode 186. Who's hot, who's not of El Mexican Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Samara Perez, in for Hugo Bernal. And just a reminder to subscribe to all our social media platforms, and a reminder that we are completely live right now. So go ahead and send us your comments. We have a lot of topics to talk about today. We're going to talk about round 6 of Liga MX, America, Chivas, Seleccion Mexicana, MLS kicking off, and lots more. But before we do begin and before I introduce the rest of the ETO gang, I did want to mention and touch on, as we all know, everything that's going on over there with the situation in Ukraine. And we at ETO wanted to send our prayers and our best wishes to the Ukrainian people. You know, we wish for world peace. We wish for the war to stop. And, you know, it's an unfortunate situation, but all right, let's go ahead and begin with the show. Hello, Super. Welcome. How are you?
Mara, how you doing? Ready for another round?
Yes. Let's welcome as well Fernando. Fernando, how are you?
I'm great. Ready for more soccer and excited to be here.
Awesome. And I'm also excited to be here as well. Welcome everybody once again. All right, let's get started. First, we have the Liga MX results for round 6. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. We have, as we can see, Puebla and Rayados. Puebla taking that victory. And we have Juarez, Santos. We have a draw, Tijuana, Necaxa. And we made our predictions on all of these games. I was able to get the right score for the first game. What about you, Super? ¿Cómo ves? ¿Cómo andan ahí tus pronósticos?
Well, I mean, like always, you know, hit or miss for me. I got a couple right, not the scores, but you know, Puebla. We definitely thought that they was gonna take this game since Monterrey anda por la calle de la amargura. But hey, you know, not bad. Ahí algo me defiendo.
¿Y tú, Fernando?
If I'm not mistaken, I think I said that Monterrey was gonna win. I didn't think Puebla had it in them to beat Monterrey, but they surprised me, and I'm happy to see that because it's a small team, one of the teams that are like, you know, the cheapest of the team, and they still managed to get a win. They're in first place, so it's always good to see that.
First place en la cima. Let's take a look at the standings for round 6. Como mencionaste, Fernando, Puebla up at top. And then we have the top. Let's take a look at the top 5. We have Pachuca, Cruz Azul, Tigres, and Atlas. Y bueno, pues we could see the rest of the teams. Some, you know, not doing so well, like, I don't know, Chivas?
America.
Super. America. Chivas fall to León. Well, also America, right? But let's start with Chivas. Let's start with your Chivas. They fall to León, and they're currently 9th in the standings. So what can you tell me about tu equipo?
Well, it was a wild game. I think even though Chivas lost, I don't think they played the worst game of the season. I don't think this was the worst game of the season. Anyways, they ended up losing in the last minute. It was like, you know, it was the time the recompensa at the very last, what was it, like 94th minute, where they got the defeat. And they had chances towards the end as well, because they managed to tie the game around that minute 80th. And they had a couple opportunities after that where they could have easily, you know, scored that winning goal. But, you know, like that saying in Mexico that we have, el que perdona pierde, Samara, you know. So that's what happened with Chivas, you know, and perdonó. They gave away the first goal for León, a horrible mistake by Fernando Beltran, giving the ball away basically to the opponent and with an open goal. So you know, when you make mistakes in defensively like that, it's really tough to overcome, like, because your morale goes down, and on top of that, you know, like, you're already making mistakes. Now you got to start from you got to swim against the current. It's difficult, you know.
So at this point, I know we talked about this before, but at this point, what's the reality of Chivas that you know we've mentioned before, Super? What do you think? Where do you think that they stand?
Well, this is the reality. I've been saying this every week, Fernando. They're very inconsistent. You know, they're a team that they kind of basically play with what they have.
But they don't have bad players. That's the thing.
Yeah,
I don't think the way you say it sounds like they're settling for the players that they have when they actually have a decent.
Sorry, guys. I was reading one of the comments, and it said, "Not sure who's more delusional, Chivas or Super about Chivas."
Hey, but tell me, am I lying?
I mean, que comenten. Es super lying. Chivas is with the third loss out of 6 games, but continue, Fernando. Sorry for interrupting.
No, yeah, I mean, it's just I don't think Chivas has bad players. I actually thought at the beginning of the season that it was a pretty well solid team, at least better than Pumas. I was expecting Chivas to do way better than Pumas, and I see Chivas struggling a little bit. So it's a little concerning because then what is it? They changed.
You know, let me tell you, Fernando. Since you touch a great point there with Pumas, right? And Pumas, you thinking. Chivas has a better team than Pumas. En papel, en la mesa, yes, right? They have better names. They have very young players. They have very talented young players. But you don't have a leader. You know, you coach. Look what happens with Lilini, right? He had his team like taken apart how many times? Like 2 or 3 times already. And he still managed to, you know, to push forward and get the team playing good, because you know we see them. Pumas is on top, and then you have on the other side Chivas, where it's basically the owner's friend that is leading this team because they don't have money to pay for another coach. And you know,
would you say that Chivas is in crisis? Then they have a game against Puebla next. So how do you think that's gonna go?
They are in crisis, and they've been in crisis for a long time, for a few years, even though, like I said, they don't have they have some talented players. If you don't have like a leader and a good project, right? Like you have to get a coach and give them the confidence and give them like the material like to succeed. Like this team no tuvo refuerzos this season, right? So
bueno, pues
they got Macias, but
Macias
is right. Well, he's just recently incorporated, but
yeah.
All right, let's talk about another team that's in crisis, right? Because we have a little bit of time to talk about the head coach in a bit, but let's talk about el América. Los Tuzos golearon al América. Fernando, América faces Pumas next in a Clásico Capitalino. What do you think is gonna happen with Solari? Because apparently there's a source tells me that they gave Solari 4 games after his defeat against who was it, against Atlético de San Luis, and you know they expect better results after this game. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you think America is gonna, I don't know, wake up and tie or defeat Pumas?
Well, this is a really great game. It's gonna be a clásico. So we've talked about it before, where we see the clásico or the teams play so much better when it's a clásico than when it's just a regular game. So I do think that America is going to play their best game so far of this season, and I do think they have a chance to win. However, the more I think about it, the more I believe Super when they say that le están tendiendo la cama a Solari. So I think they might just lose it so Solari can leave and then they can start a whole new project. I mean, that's good for Pumas because then that means they'll win. But we'll see how America plays. I think they're going to have a good game.
Yeah, that's the rumors that they've said about Solari, you know, that the players are maybe not performing as well because they don't like how Solari is, I don't know, maybe he's too rough on them or his personality, something about him. But I feel like it's going to be a very decisive game for the former Real Madrid coach. What do you think, Super?
You know, I've been saying it. Thanks, Fernando, for acknowledging it. Finally coming to the other side, to the light.
I don't see any other explanation. That's why.
You know what happened, and I remember this part where America lost a final, right? I don't remember which final it was recently. And Solari, right? All the players were leaving, going into the locker rooms, and Solari turned everybody around and said, no, you guys are not going anywhere. Come over here, watch the other team being,
get their
celebrated. Yeah, get their trophies. and people were, the players, I saw them. They were not happy for this action. And I know it's out of respect. Everybody was praising Solari for this. But when you start having incidents like that with your players, and there is now a hard feeling towards the coach, it's only gonna get worse for the team. Basically el vestidor se parte, right? We see this time and time again where people, and we hear stories from players have come here and given us interviews where they tell us that yes, les tienen la cama a los coaches. Basically, players, if they don't like the coach, they can get them out, and just like that. Because how can you explain that last season El America was super leader, and this season they just forgot how to play football?
See, but they started this bad racha when they lost against Pumas. So I don't think at that point they were tendiéndole la cama a Solari because they were playing a quarterfinal. They had to win.
Well, not then.
Oh, Fernando, which manager do you think out of Chivas and America is under more pressure or more scrutiny, Solari or Leaño?
That's a good question. I think I'm gonna go with Solari just because the players that he has in his squad are so much better than Chivas players. I think America has so much money. They brought the best players they could. They one of them being Jonathan Dos Santos, that I honestly think he should be doing so much better. So the fact that he has such a great squad gives him more pressure and gives him more responsibility to be doing better rather than Leaño. And also Solari is supposed to be a very experienced coach. Like Super said earlier, Leaño is just a friend of the owner. So definitely Solari has way more pressure.
¿Y para ti, Super?
You know what? I'm gonna go all the way here, and I think that both are gonna be out soon. Solari, if they lose this against Pumas, I think that he's gone. I think in this game, it's gonna mean like Fernando said earlier. They're not only playing for 3 points; they're playing for pride, and this would be the perfect opportunity that if he doesn't get the results, Solari's gone. And then for Leaño, a few days ago, I saw on social media Omar Bravo walking through, posting pictures walking through the el estadio de Chivas, Estadio Akron, with a folder with the Chivas logo on it. Hey, hablando de rumores, what's going on there?
So what's going on? I mean, could he be next?
So is this? I assume that it's his first. It would be his first team to manage. How would you see that? It's a big Chivas is a big team for it to be his first team. If that's the case, where we think he might be going.
Well, all right, let's see what the people over here are saying in the comments. We have Luis Perez, who says Solari's tactics haven't been the same since he got kicked out of the playoffs last year. His tactics are very timid now. And then Vincent Sanchez says Solari has more pressure because America has the means to change things, and Chivas cannot do anything to help themselves, even if they wanted to. Bueno, y acá Gerardo Fisher dice, arriba el América y abajo Solari.
There you go.
Bueno, pues para mí, I think the one who's under more pressure is Solari. And there's actually news about Henry Martin that he might not be available to play for that match against Pumas because he has like a viral infection. It's not COVID, but he does have something. So he's not sure if he's going to be playing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the power rankings now. Power rankings of the ETO gang and see what top teams they selected. So we have Puebla como el número uno, La Franja, up at top. Pachuca, Cruz Azul, Tigres, y Atlas. All right. Let's talk about Cruz Azul a little bit. La Cruz Azuleada is the
no la Cruz Azulesa, Mara.
Es que se contagia. No, los cementeros beat Toluca 4-1. Ya se acabó la Cruz Azuleada. ¿Qué dice el Super?
Well, it was. I didn't think there was a Cruz Azuleada. I mean, yeah. You know what? The Cruz Azuleada is now like it's like a. How can we put it? Like a verb already. No, every time that Cruz Azul loses, it's gonna come back. But we talk about the team is doing just fine. They're in third place. They defeated Toluca. That Toluca was coming back from a bad start of the season, and I mean currently at seventh place. It's not a bad team, and so. So they did their job defeating with contundencia, a los choriceros. So the good thing that I take out of this victory is that Santi Jimenez getting un doblete. I think that's a good thing for him because it kind of like gives him more, boosts his confidence, and they need that right now. They need a forward that can come in. Even if it's from the bench to change the game, and it's good for El Chaquito, since who knows, maybe if he gets into a little una rachita ahí, we can see him on the national team.
Right, it's possible. Third place for Cruz Azul certainly gives the fans hope. It's exciting for them to be up in the stands, and another win could put them up higher, maybe even at first place. But yeah, Santi Jimenez had a doblete. Charlie Gonzalez also scored again. Cruz Azul dominated the entire game, and it's their first time scoring 4 goals at Nemesio 10 since March 1995, thanks to the production for that one. What about you, Fernando? Do you think, I thought Nacho Ambriz was finally, acoplándose con el equipo, pero pues no fue lo que mostró en este partido. What do you think about, Cruz Azul at this moment?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, last jornada, Cruz Azul lost against Necaxa in a Cruz Azuleada, right? They were winning 1-0, and then in a matter of minutes, Necaxa scored 2 goals and ended up taking the game. And I still think that La Cruz Azuleada is still a thing. It's still something that roams around Cruz Azul's head, especially because beating Toluca at this moment is not a big thing. Pumas did it 5-0 in la primera jornada. Right now, Cruz Azul does it 4-1. That's 2 goleadas in 6 games. So I don't think beating Toluca 4-1 is a big reference to ending the Cruz Azuleada. If it would have been Tigres, if it would have been Puebla or another team that's doing really good right now.
but Fernando, they're in third place, man. It's week 7?
No, I know, but the fact the fact que le dan la vuelta en un partido contra un equipo que ahorita ni siquiera está en los primeros 12, I think.
Yeah, but everybody has a bad game, man. It was just a bad game for them. I don't think if they were like, like America right now, I would tell you, yeah.
But
las andadas.
That's the thing. If you start losing, just
now
like
remember that they were in a week of distress with all the stuff that was going on internally with the coach, with the directiva, with all the problems that they're carrying from the office. Sometimes it does affect you, man. So
no, I know, but let's analyze this. Cruz Azuleada means, or what is started meaning was Cruz Azul losing everything when they're at the top, when they're doing really good, and then everything crumbles down to pieces. So the fact that they're doing good right now, but they lose in a very silly way against Necaxa, that tells me that.
And yes, and La Cruz Azulearon during that one game, not during the season. I mean, they're doing just fine. Like I said, they're in third place. They have they have a good team. So I don't know. Like, I mean,
this is gonna be a good test on Sunday when they play Santos, the last place of the.
I don't think it's gonna be a good test. I think exactly you're playing the worst team in the league right now. It's not a good test.
So if Cruz Azul loses against Santos on Sunday, would you call that a Cruz Azuleada? Because so and it's very possible. It's a possible outcome.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not that they're in a bad racha. They had a bad game against Necaxa, and not even that bad. La Cruz Azulearon because they flipped it. Les voltearon la tortilla in like a matter of minutes. Esa fue la Cruz Azulera, not the whole game. Right. They were doing good throughout the game.
Exactly, but don't you think that's a little concerning, knowing that that's still possible to happen?
No, it's food. That's what football means, man. That's what it is. It happens.
I don't see
Mira, just listen to this one, right? El partido no se acaba hasta que se acaba. Every minute, every second counts, dude.
Yeah, but tell me how many teams in the Liga MX or in the world le dan la vuelta tanto como a Cruz Azul.
It happens.
That Cruz Azul has, and the fact that it's still happening, it should definitely be concerning because it doesn't happen often. Except the Cruz Azul.
Fernando, you mentioned them. You mentioned the Cruz Azul not beating Puebla, and let's talk about Puebla a little bit. They're number one right now. Would you say that they're true contenders?
Not yet, not completely. We do know that Monterrey is not at their best right now. They're not playing their best soccer, so. I wish I would have seen what would have happened if Monterrey was at their fullest potential. I don't think Puebla would have beat Monterrey if Monterrey was, where they were at last season. So I wouldn't put them as a strong contender just yet. It's only the 6th game, and we'll see what happens in the next few games.
¿Y tú, Super?
Oh no, I definitely think that they are a contender for the title. This is a team that has been doing good things for the past 3 tournaments. They have a coach that has shown during these 3 tournaments that you can be a great coach with so little. They took away a couple of key players for his team, and he still was managed to continue with that good racha that he has. I think that he defeated some teams, some good teams already. Like teams like Tigres, like America. They tied. I know America's not doing good, but still, Monterrey, Atlas. They tied that game as well. That les dejó un sabor a triunfo that game too, because they were losing that. They were about to lose that game, and they're undefeated. They're undefeated. So I definitely think that we're now in 1/3 of the tournament, and they're they're leading this tournament. So I definitely think they could have a good chance of taking this.
Right. We didn't think that from Atlas last semester,
exactly.
But look at them now. They're champions. So
exactly.
I don't know. Could Puebla be next? It's been 31 years without them having that title. So let's take a look at the contenders for round 7. Contenders and opponents for round 7, and there they are. Okay. Tenemos a Puebla en la casa de las Chivas. Y después, I'm sorry, is that Puebla? Yeah. Puebla, and then Pachuca versus Mazatlán, Cruz Azul, Santos, Tigres, visita Juárez, Atlas, visita a Tijuana.
I think Pumas should be there.
Pues tú eres pumista. Tú le vas a los Pumas.
Así es, but I mean, I think Pumas did a very good game against Atlas and holding them back. So if Atlas is there, I think Pumas should be. Well, it's okay. It's a matter of opinion.
So who's most likely to come up with the 3 points then? From those that we just saw.
I definitely see Cruz Azul and Tigres taking the easy victory. I mean, again, it's according to the standings. Anything could happen, though. We know that football is just a game that you have to just play the game, and you can't be overconfident because in a matter of minutes the game can change. Look what happened to Cruz Azul with Necaxa.
I actually don't think Tigres has it that easy. Juarez could sneak up on them, especially being at home. Atlas against Tijuana, that should not be a tough game for Atlas.
El reencuentro con el Tuca Ferretti nuevamente de Tigres. Y bueno, ahorita Pachuca is actually beating 2-1 al Mazatlán.
Yeah, they're already playing, and they're up 1. They're up 2-1, of course.
They were up 2-0, and then right before the first half ended, the Mazatlán scored. I do believe Mazatlán could end up tying the game and getting just 1 point. If Pachuca doesn't score another one, they could be in big trouble.
Right. Bueno, guys, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the promo for our next episode. So that's ready. Let's roll it. We have El Mexican Soccer Podcast, episode 187, which is going to be on Thursday, as always, Thursday, March 3rd. It's 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Wait, Pacific Time. 9 p.m. Eastern Time and 8 p.m. Central Time. We're all over the U.S., guys. So we're present. We're here. So, okay. Let's take a look now at the for the Liga MX Fantasy Pick'em, where we have the winners for round 6. In first place, Isra Garza. In second, Gerardo Fischer. And in third, Juan Camane. And remember, this is totally free to play. So every week you can put in your predictions and you get to win prizes completely free. All you got to do is go sign up, create an account, and then put in your predictions, right? So I think you should go ahead and participate. We have good prizes. I actually was able to win one because we could participate as well, but I was only able to do it once. Yes,
you still wouldn't win, Super. You're still
missing out.
Oh,
you're missing
no
out,
wonder,
Super. But look, we gave our predictions for last week, and honestly, we didn't do very well. So
I hope nobody.
I think we would have put them in the fantasy pick'em. No luck, no nothing, no prizes for us.
I was gonna say, I hope nobody grabbed our predictions and put them in their predictions on the fantasy pick'em, because they were
mad
of us, you know.
Right.
Oh man.
Okay, production. Are we gonna do the what's it called? You know that video of the explainer, or we don't have that? Okay, we don't have that anymore. Okay, no more. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about then Mande super.
He's gone.
Joe's gone, yeah.
El Terminator, yeah. Lo terminamos. He's gone. We gave him the boot.
You say that while se te escurre una lagrimita en el ojo, super.
No llores, Fernando. Me tienes a mí. You have me, man. Don't worry. I'm here for you.
Let's go ahead and talk about los Rayados del Monterrey and the situation that's going on with the fans. I don't know if you guys saw the videos where the fans were standing in front of the players' vehicles and confronting them, trying to speak to them, trying to get a word out of them, like as to why they're not performing so well. As we know, Rayados came from winning, or not winning, but earning 5th place.
I think the fans are pretty clever, putting huevos on the players' cars.
They did a lot.
I mean, they're right. Their team is not performing, and they have the most expensive squad. They should be doing better, at least being in the first 12 at the very least. So I think.
But is that the right way to approach it? Because I don't know, like Funes Mori was like, he didn't even want to talk. I believe he was scared. Like if it were me, like I'd be scared. Like them doing all the writing, and then they like it was a lot. But I don't know. Super, ¿tú qué piensas?
No, it happens all over the place, right? I mean, this is not something that just happens in Mexico. We've seen it around the globe. I've seen it with people doing it to Barcelona players, to Real Madrid players, all over, and it's not right. It's not right. At the end of the game, this is just a game. And they should just. That's the fanatismo, the feeling. It's people that basically go too far. They go too far, and yeah, you can be upset. You can go and scream at your TV all you want. You can say whatever you want them on on the screen. But to go and try to confront this guy because he's not playing good, I get it. You're mad, but that's just going just too far.
I agree with you. It's not the correct way to approach the situation. But as when you become a professional soccer player, you're signing up for stuff like this, even though it's completely wrong. You have to be aware that whenever your team is not doing good, you're gonna be facing these situations. And if I'm not mistaken, none of the fans did any aggressive action. So I don't think los agredieron. I don't think que les golpearon ni nada. So in a way, it wasn't that bad. They just stood outside, complained a little, maybe yelled at them, but it's something that you also get yelled at the stadium. So it's
right.
Nothing,
but it's kind of intimidating, no? When it's like one-on-one,
but
or 10-on-1.
Yeah, no, it's easily it could easily, something can go wrong easily. It's not the good. What if he hits one of them with his car or something, not intentionally, but it's just something that could happen, and I don't think that they should allow this. The security should be more strict over there at the stadium. At the training facilities, and also maybe players could talk to the fans. Use social media, use something in a way to send a message. And this is something that, like, Funes Mori has been in the spotlight now because recently he has used some comments, or he has said some comments that were not very pleasant to hear, especially I guess he had another incident at the airport where he was like saying that Mexico was basically a crappy country. And it's like, you're
Did
talking
he say
like
that though?
this.
Did he say a crappy country?
That I cannot prove it. I didn't hear it. There's no video of it, but there's claims from news outlets that he said this, and if he did, then that's wrong too, and that's provoking. Now you're provoking the fans, and that's it goes both ways. If we are gonna say what the fans did is wrong, also Funes Mori, if he should watch what he says.
And I think that's just a result of all the pressure that he's going through. He's not doing good in Monterrey. He's not doing good in La Selección Mexicana. And the fans are starting to want more from him.
But
it's not justifiable, but I kind of understand that his actions are due to stress and pressure that he's going
I get it, but you just said it. You just said it earlier. He decided to become a professional soccer player to be in the spotlight like that. You should know how to handle that. You should know how to handle that. And then, at the end of the day, you're getting paid to do it, and just gotta be a little smarter.
Super. Do you think Funes Mori's action and the way he's been playing, like he's not at a very good moment right now? Do you think he deserves a call-up for the national team?
No, I've been saying this since he got called for the first time. His best moments they are long gone. I remember Funes Mori, when Monterrey was like winning championships and playing like great games, but Funes Mori has been like downhill for a long time, and he got called just because compadrismos. That's what I believe. And
didn't he say that he earned his call-up?
No, I don't think so. He maybe he earned it if he would have 5 years ago. Now it's like he hasn't shown that he has something else to offer. Like that other players could bring to La Selección.
I think even a year ago he was still doing good, and when they called him off for what was it the Gold Cup?
He was close to leaving Monterrey, man. He's been not playing good for a long time. This is nothing new. It's been years since Funes Mori is not the same Funes Mori anymore.
See, but yet again, without Funes Mori, this is the conversation we have every single time we talk about Funes Mori. Without him, there's really nobody else. And the fact that at some point he was good, taking him to the Selección Mexicana kind of gives you hope that he might remember how to play like he used to, that he might be able to bring his skills back. Rather than
so do you think El Tata Martino might have like a surprise call-up for his next lineup in the Mexican national team for the next window?
Even though he shouldn't be a starter because he's not having a good moment right now, he's going to do it as Jimenez's backup. And hopefully by then he retakes his skill. He starts playing better again, because you don't forget how to play soccer. He's just going through a very bad 2 years, like Super says. And I think with a little discipline, he could come back to being the Funes Mori that we all knew back then.
I don't know, man. How old is he?
I don't know. He's not much older than Jimenez.
I think he's quite a few years older than Jimenez.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, but again, without Jimenez, without Funes Mori, the only one we have is Henry Martin, and I still don't think that's a great option. But without Henry Martin, then without them three, we have nobody.
What about Chicharito?
He's young and he could, maybe
we have to see how this whole tournament develops and see if he's fit for the Selección Mexicana. At the moment, it seems like he is, and it would be a good idea to take him just to get a feel of it, but I don't know.
Well, speaking of La Selección Mexicana, the USMNT has a possible absence for Weston McKennie. He has an injury on his left foot, if I'm not mistaken. So recovery time expected to come back in about 2 months. But do you guys think that this absence would benefit El Tri in their match against the United States on the 24th of March at home?
Well, he was basically one of the key players for the U.S., so it will bring some. It would be a big absence for el equipo de las barras y las estrellas. So, but again, we have to see what Mexico brings to the table too, because that midfield that they have is not very, convincing. Let's put it that way.
He is a very important piece of the U.S. national team, but the fact that he's not going to be there kind of gives, if Mexico wins, is gonna give it less credit to the win, because obviously,
what? Come on, Fernando. I mean,
no. The thing is that you cannot expect Mexico to win only when the other team has bajas. You know, Mexico won.
No, you always expect them to win. What do you mean? No, doesn't matter who's on the pitch.
No, in the World Cup, you're gonna have fully loaded teams in the World Cup.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Injuries could happen anytime.
But no, what I'm saying is that you can't expect the other teams to have injured players, every time Mexico plays against them. So
yeah, but that's something that has nothing to do with Mexico,
No, hey, I know, but
if you have an injured player, that's whatever. I mean, look at Mexico, the same thing.
If Mexico plays against the B team of Germany, if they might win and it might be nice, but just the fact that they didn't do it with a fully loaded team is kind of upsetting. And I was hoping after seeing Mexico lose 3 times against the United States, I wanted Mexico to win against the United States at their best, with no excuses. That's what I mean. It's kind of sucky to know that Mexico has an advantage because McKinney's not gonna be there. As much as it benefits Mexico and they're probably gonna end up with the 3 points, it sucks to know that they kind of had an advantage.
I mean, La Seleccion also has its injuries, players with injuries like El Chucky. But, speaking of like being defeated by the U.S., so Mexico needs more preparation, needs to play with teams, out of CONCACAF. And there is a negotiation or they're preparing to have friendly matches against Argentina and Brazil in September. However, they must qualify to the World Cup first before these matches, que es, pues what's the word I'm looking for them? Yeah, se oficializan. Thank you, super. So they also have a friendly against Venezuela. That's a possibility, but what do you guys think, that they need to play matches against teams like this in order to be better prepared for the World Cup? If qualifying?
Definitely. I think always playing higher ranking teams will help you get better, will help you get a different interaction, like playing with a lower ranked team and beating them, like basically not even taking it seriously because some of these players underestimate these teams and they don't give their max, When they're playing higher ranked teams, Mexico always se crece. They play better, se la creen. And if that was like a norm for them, and possibly they could just get a better rhythm.
I do like the games against Brazil and Argentina. They're really good teams, but I would like to see more diversity. In the World Cup, you can end up playing against a European country or an African country, or an Asian country. So instead of playing 3 teams from the same confederation, I think they should add maybe a game against Portugal, or Nigeria. I don't know, something not just from South America.
Listen, man, I would take 20 games against Argentina and Brazil. And no games against like the teams that you just mentioned.
Why not?
And I would just fine. I would be just fine with that. Playing the best of the best, it's where it's at, man.
But European teams.
You're gonna compare Nigeria with Brazil and Argentina. Come on.
They have a very similar style. The European teams have a very similar style. So do the African teams. So in order
the Portuguese team, I think like is 2 steps, behind Argentina and Brazil.
Okay, so then you can replace one of those games for the Venezuela game.
True. We'd also be talking about like Brazil and Argentina having all their star players, Messi, pues los brasileños. Entonces, I think that Mexico definitely needs more preparation and more.
So how about Germany? How about Germany, Super? Does that make you feel better?
No, they can. Like I said, as long as they play good teams,
what do
I'm
you
fine with it.
But
so
you
anyways,
have to,
listen,
there's different styles of play, Super. You have to get a little taste of all of them.
Bueno,
yeah, but
yesterday,
it's easier for them to play against Brazil and Argentina than to play with Germany, because Germany they will never want to come to this way. They will have to go that way, and that with the contracts and sponsors, that's not gonna happen. Hey, and just a quick reminder: Funes Mori and Raúl Jiménez, they are the same age. I was just thinking that
they are. Okay, you looked it up. Thanks for that. All right,
exactly.
Let's continue. Let's continue with La Selección Mexicana, and now let's talk about Héctor Herrera, who has a possibility of arriving to the MLS yesterday. That was kind of like the not trending topic, but it was popular on Twitter over here and my side in Houston, and with all the fans of the Houston Dynamo, which is the team that met with him today. The general manager had met with him earlier today to present to him the offer. So would you guys consider this a good option for his career? With having the World Cup happen in the same year. So he's expected to come sometime in the summer after his contract with Atlético de Madrid ends. Super, ¿tú qué piensas?
I think it would be a great thing for Herrera, because that would give him more regular playing time. He's not a starter for Atlético. He is basically a bench player, and if he's gonna stay there to do the same, and
he played the whole game against Manchester United for the Champions League, man.
Yeah, but he's not a regular. And anyways, I just think he's on his way out. I wouldn't even bring him to the World Cup. That's just me, though.
Fernando, what do you think?
I don't like it. I've always been really against players coming from Europe to the MLS or La Liga MX at an early age. It's not early for him because he's already in the older side, but I still think he could give more than MLS or Liga MX for that matter.
En la banca?
Maybe not in Atletico. Listen, maybe not in Atletico, but another team in Spain that's probably like mid-table, being a starter in one of those teams. Atletico is a very big team for him, but I don't think he should come back to these leagues, especially not before the World Cup, because I know you don't want him at the World Cup, but the truth is that El Tata Martino is gonna take him. So obviously you want him to at least be at a higher level than he would be here in the United States. So another team,
more rhythm here in the MLS, because he's gonna be a designated player if he accepts the offer, and
he's at the perfect age to come to the MLS.
Wait, how old is he? Like 33?
I don't think. He's 31 years old, and
that's not a perfect age, man. That's too early. That's too early.
No, it's a perfect age because the contract that they're gonna offer him now is not gonna be the same if he tries to come in the next 2 to 3 years.
It's a perfect age maybe for his financial situation, not for his soccer, not for his.
But what soccer are you talking about? He has declined, like he has gone like downhill from a long time ago, man.
You said it yourself.
Mira, se operó la nariz en like Sansón. Una vez que la nariz se le fue el talento.
You said it yourself.
His talent was gone.
In Atletico, he's not a starter, right? He's not constant. So the fact that he doesn't get any playing time, that can probably be the reason why he's not at the best of his game. But if he was to go to another team in Europe, even if it's like a mid-table team, like Tottenham or whatever other team, or Crystal Palace, they would.
The problem is that you have to get the offers. Right. If they're not there.
No, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. This is a bad move.
The question here is would you go to another team in Europe earning less money, or would you go with the financial safety of earning more? And, he's going to be earning about $4 million per season. And
I don't know how much he earns right now, but I don't think the money is the issue.
Let me think about that, Samara. Less money. I'm about to retire.
He's not.
Or more money.
He still has like 7 years in him, man. I don't understand.
What? 7 years?
He could honestly end up.
I think he's lucky if he has 3 more years, man. That's it.
Oh no, man. All right,
if he comes to the United States to retire, he could be playing here until 38, man.
All right.
Listen,
guys.
Man. If at 31 you're a costal de papas.
Let's move on. Staying with the MLS, but now
your vision is just Atletico de Madrid. I guarantee you, he leaves that team to another team in Europe, he would be a very good player.
All right, yeah. Vamos a hablar de la CONCACAF Champions League. El Santos eliminado por el Montreal de la MLS. Entonces, el Santos going through a lot. Pedro Caixinha was just fired from Santos after this defeat. Santos, Caixinha, like, oh my God. First, he's not present at the game because he tested positive for COVID, right? So now he's without a team. Santos let go of him. So what do you guys think of?
I'm sorry. Before we continue, I just want to read a comment. I want Fernando drug test today ASAP. Thanks for that comment. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back to Caixinha.
Yeah, so Caixinha, would you guys?
I think it was. I know he hasn't been doing good on La Liga, and being eliminated from. I mean, with that MLS team hurts, because the whole la rivalidad, and what that means, that losing again to the US for a Mexican team, it's hard. And I think that's why they basically fired him, and again, if they brought him, this is what his second time with Santos, and they always say that, las segundas oportunidades, they never work, right? But I think it was too soon. I think they were not patient enough. What was it? Now it was only 10 games. No, it was like about 8 games, right? That he played, including the
but
Conca Champions.
Santos is in the last place of the standings.
Yeah.
So, do you think it was more of the not winning or being eliminated from the CONCACAF Champions League, or give him a more of an opportunity to pick up the pace with the Liga MX? Like,
I mean, kind of didn't you want Leaño out like 4 games in after he started coaching Chivas?
But
I think it's the same situation.
Leaño's been 2 tournaments now. This is his 2nd tournament.
No, I know, but last tournament you still wanted him out. He only had like 8 games, 7 games, and you were already like very upset at him.
So the thing with Caixinha is that whenever Santos and him, like, they had a plan, right? They have a plan of wanting to go to the Club World Cup. So, like, there was no wins for Pedro in this season so far. Last in the standings, and of like kind of like a failure, not being eliminated. So
no, it was definitely a combination. I mean, it definitely doesn't help him that he hasn't won in Liga MX, that he lost 4 of those 6 games that he played, and then. But again, I think it was the MLS thing. I mean, you lose to a team from the MLS, and what round is this in the Conca Champions?
quarterfinals.
Is it quarterfinals?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's.
But I think it was just a team like Santos should not be struggling this much. They have a good team, and you expect a coach as good as Caixinha to start giving positive results from the get-go. So the fact that he wasn't doing it, and it didn't seem like he was going to do it anytime soon, you have to start looking for another project. Especially like Super said, second chances almost never work. So
I have a comment here from one of our viewers says, be nice to my Santos well in el sótano.
Hey, let me tell you, no soy de maldiciones ni nada, but when they lost against Cruz Azul on that final, I think they're going to be carrying a maldición for losing that final.
All right, guys, let's wrap up our talk about Liga MX and let's move on to the league that's about to kick off this weekend, which is the MLS. It's going to be starting with a 9-game slate. And we have a video about Vela, who talks about his future. What do you think? What do you guys think is going to happen with Vela?
We're looking at the video first.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the video.
I say when you are young, maybe you can have more distraction or you have more things in your head. But when you get older, you have more experience. You know how the sports are. It's a business too, so you are more prepared for every single situation. In my mind, it's just be ready for this month. I'm not thinking about the year because I don't have a year here. So I will work hard to do my best in the start of the season, the 4 months or 5 months I have left in my contract, and enjoy every single game because who knows where I can be in 6 months. So I live in the present. I want to enjoy it. I want to do my best for my teammates, for the fans, for my family. And after that, we'll see. I even know where I will be. So I'm enjoying right now, and that's it.
Okay, let's take a look at the graphic real quick for the notable MLS games in week 1. LAFC, donde juega Carlos Vela, against Colorado Rapids, Austin FC, Cincinnati, San Jose Earthquakes against New York Red Bulls. And on Sunday, we have Atlanta United against Sporting Kansas City, LA Galaxy against New York City FC, and the Houston Dynamo against Real Salt Lake.
And also Toronto is going to go and visit FC Dallas, donde Salcedo is going to be now playing. So
Eso.
Yeah.
So which Mexican do you think will have the biggest impact this year?
Well,
we have, just to remind you guys, El Chicharito, Vela, that we just heard talk on the video that his contract ends in June. And then we have La Chofis.
Well, I think that, yes, I think that Vela, I don't think he's going to stay. So, yes, he probably is going to do good for the few months that we're going to have him here. But then after that, he's leaving. So I'm going to put all the focus now on Chicharito, that he's been working really hard to basically earn a championship with LA Galaxy. He played in the last friendly they had. He scored 2 goals, and that's a good thing for him. The boost of confidence right before the start of the league is it's like an encouragement for his teammates to work hard and as they see their captain basically succeeding, and he said it. Listen, we joke around all the time. In an interview, he said, joke around all the time about being champions, but entre broma y broma, ya nos toca. So I definitely see him really focus on what he wants, and I think that he's gonna have a good tournament.
Fernando, who do you think?
I think Chicharito is gonna have the biggest impact. I feel like right now he's motivated because of la Selección Mexicana, whether it's because he still wants to go, even though we know he won't, or because he wants to prove to El Tata that he was the best option. You know, kind of like to like lo quiere callar para que se vea como menso El Tata. So I think he's just very motivated. You know, thanks to la Selección Mexicana, even though he's probably not gonna go.
Guys, guess what? We are out of time.
Wow.
Final thoughts. Super.
That was fast.
I
That was fast. Oh man, I can't believe an hour went by so quick. No. Hey, looking forward to this MLS starting. I want to get on the road again. Hopefully I get to go to some games.
Yeah. Fernando?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the MLS because I me hice el propósito that I'm gonna watch as many MLS games as I can this season. I want to get more involved in it, you know, as much as I am with the Liga MX. So we'll see if I'm able to go to one of the games.
Right, and on my part, it's gonna be exciting to maybe have Hector Herrera over here in the summer, but also following the Mextranjeros over here in the MLS. So thank you everyone for tuning in to our episode 186. Just a reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube at El Tri Online. We'll see you guys in the next show next week. Bye.